problems learning those games, and he has pretty good times in glitchless, I think, and Mega Man 1 glitchless as well. He played many other games. I've seen him play Metroid, I've seen him play other random NES games, and he does really well with those as well.
So yeah, as we see, both the runners are off now, and both of them decided to go, starting off with a Quick Man stage, one of the quicker stages that you can get through without needing any of the items. You see MetaLow has just completed his first boss, which happened to be Crash Man, and StuffnThings is right behind him.
Yeah, it seems that they're doing fine on their first Quickman level, and MetaLow decides to go Flash as well. These two levels are pretty standard to start with, because both of them have A-Tank, both of them are pretty easy, safe, and you miss one zip, I guess, but meh, you get 2 E-Tanks, a free life, and I guarantee that you'll continue this run healthy without dying much. So as they transition to Flashman, you can hear that there's a next song playing. Guess what it is? And as well as you may see, MetaLow has gone to the E-Tank and testing the walls as well with Bubble. It's pretty standard stuff. You can test the walls on this game because walls have random vulnerabilities as well. Everything in this game has random vulnerabilities. For instance, you can kill a Sniper Joe like this one in 1 hit, but on the other rando you can kill it with 8 hits, or yeah, it's just random. So he has a pretty slow Flashman here, which tends to be really easy. That's even easier, I think, than the normal fight. It's pretty lucky. The guys will have no problems here. And this seed is kinda good for now. The runners won't have much problems until the hard stages come on. And MetaLow decides to continue with Metal Man, actually one of the easiest stages in the game in general. but in Randomizer can be a little bit tricky. So let's see how he fares in the level, and he gets at the 30 tank. He's playing it to win, let's say. That's a really safe bet there. I really enjoy when someone collects the E-tanks and then goes for the hard strats. That guarantees you a lot. Also,
things. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude.
Just gonna say we got StuffnThings going the Bubble Man stage now, which is another one of the easier stages, and looks like he's attempting the item list clip.
Oh, he needed a couple of more pixels, I think. A couple more pixels. He dropped down too fast, but it's okay. I think those guys played too much Mega Man to be scared of a bubble section, let's say. Anyway, quite a lot of these stages can be really tricky. So expect a very crazy things happening in this race. This is just the beginning of what you see, beginning of Mega Man, and already MetaLow has to use one of his E-tanks. Imagine how hard this must be for them. Imagine how hard it will be for you. This is an amazing randomizer race. And he gets a non-huggable bubble that's apparently weak to Buster, which is pretty good. Okay, and a purple airman for StuffnThings. Let's see if airman will do the... Yeah, he's a pretty good airman. He loves StuffnThings.
That was a pretty nice airman fight, getting stuck into the ceiling there.
Yeah, because sometimes he can be a real nuisance, like do mini jumps after one shooting, like because everything is randomized when he shoots. He can shoot like a lot of times before doing that. He can shoot like 5 times, 4 times, and then jump, and make your life miserable. Or shoot one time and jump the whole time mini jumps, which are really hard to dodge actually. And really uncomfortable because he changes his jump distance as well. So yeah, sometimes airmen can be quite tricky to pull off. And MetaLow here, okay, he got it this time. He got it. He got the bubbles up without problems. While StuffnThings died on the start of Woodman, he was trying to figure out the weakness for these guys. And he kind of found that rabbits are weak to bubble, really vulnerable. But these tin cans, they can be really tricky. But the general rule of tin cans is to hit them, they will kind of destroy themselves and you'll get less damage than contact. But sometimes there are so many, and you kind of really get damage boosted and die. And StuffnThings is forced to kind of switch the stage because he doesn't have the right weaknesses and items to continue Wood. But yeah, I appreciate and I understand his concerns there.
Yeah, that can be a real pain when all the weapons you have are just tinking off of an enemy like that, especially one that's kind of difficult to avoid like those tin cans are. Plus, that first room of Woodman stage just has so many enemies.
Yeah, that first room is, and let's say, if you don't have any items and everything is thinking, it can be really impossible or really hard. And he actually gets another hard level, which is the airman level. Generally what runners don't want is getting fan guys, the guys that blow. Yeah, that sounded weird, but the guys that blow on this stage and on Heatman stage, it can be really tricky because they can blow you off and you just die. And when you don't expect it, it's a certain death if you don't expect it.
It looks like once again all his weapons are tinking off of the fan guy, so he just has. Oh, it looks like he found something that'll actually hit him.
Hooray for air shooter. And seems that the guys don't have enough items to do stuff and things still. So yeah, they will continue searching for these items, because you get these items as rewards from the game, like item 1, 2, and 3, platform, kind of a jet, and a rising platform that contacts a wall and rises, but it's random in the randomizer. You don't know where they are, so you need to find them in order to do these tricks. So the guys are fishing the whole time.
Yeah, hopefully they get them before they get to the levels where they're the most useful or the most required. That's one of the reasons you'll see runners often will go to Heatman and Crashman as in their later levels, so they have the better the chances of having item 2s or item 1s especially.
Exactly. And StuffnThings did really well on his fight. And he actually got item 3. So MetaLow got it as well. So I think they're good to go for Heat. But to kind of guarantee that stage, you need to have item 2. And you kind of want all the items if you want to do the optimal stage with zips and stuff, but let's say with item 3 it's completable.
Yeah, of course it's possible to do every stage without items, but with the randomizer it's kind of difficult to tell what you're really going to need beforehand, because some groupings of certain enemies can make certain stages really difficult.
Exactly, it's and like in General Mega Man, it's really good to have those items to skip the tedious sections with zips. Zips serve only for that, speedrun something, to kind of make it go faster, because those sections in Randomizer sometimes are brutal, and if you don't have those items, you're gonna go really slow. It's not like Mega Man when you can I lost 30 seconds because I didn't zip, or 20 seconds because I didn't zip 2 times in this stage. You can die actually, and you will lose much more than that. And this stuff also completes Bubble without problems. Meanwhile, MetaLow is going for the one and only Goodwood. He actually did Goodwood, started the Goodwood zip with item 3 for some unknown reason and died. Wow. That's odd. That's odd to say the least. But because he has Boomerang, I think it will be easy, but I think he didn't drop well in one of the horizontal wraparounds he did, and he fall down. But these stuff happen. It's Goodwood. It's always good if you do it. If you don't do it, it's not Goodwood. Yeah.
Yeah, being fairly new to Mega Man 2 running myself, I'm not entirely sure of how the mechanics of good would work still.
Oh, it's kind of long to... It's really long to explain in a tournament stream, but basically Goodwood is a combination of stuff you must do to execute it, and die at the end, which triggers the checkpoint. When you trigger the checkpoint at some point, at the last part of the zip, you just do a dit, and that's it. It's not something that's something really good to do in a randomizer, but if you're risking to do that, then okay, I'll give you props.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see a little later on whether that actually worked out for him, because I think StuffnThings made up a little bit of time there.
Yeah, and that the things we had a discussion about a poll about zips or whatnot. Let's do zips or let's not do zips in a randomizer race, and the guys didn't have any problems with that. Like everybody, most of the guys like wanted to do zips, and that's basically the punishment you get if you don't complete the zip. Like MetaLow is getting punished for not doing good with first try. He's now trying to do Biggie, or I don't know, maybe some kind of a TAS clash, but it's not gonna happen. So he must clear this section of clash in order to complete the clash zip. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen. Meanwhile, Stuff is fighting Heat with a boomerang, and he found that boomerang works as a vulnerability on him. And MetaLow gave up on seems to have gave up on clash zip, and he will now traverse the clash stage normally. While StuffnThings now had his item 1, he goes to clash. Let's see how he fares. If he's gonna go for the zip, is it even possible for them to do the zip? Is that why they gave up? Or something like this. I think they're doing it slow. They're cleaning. Both of them are cleaning. That means both of them are attempting the zip. I don't know. This item is really bad for zipping it. Probably TAS zip is possible with this. It's very unlikely. It's disappearing too fast.
Yeah, it looks like it's disappearing very quickly and also rising slowly.
Well, at least you have your item 1. You can climb the stage normally, like they do now. And that's actually the glitchless route, I think. Do it normally.
Again, I think Metal lost a little bit of time as he used up most of his item 1 trying to get the zip early. So it looks like StuffnThings was able to make up a little bit of time still.
Yeah, he's gaining up on him because he used all of his... I think he had only 1 left of his item 1s, and you can see StuffnThings is climbing very fast. It's funny how both of the guys found that air shooter is the weakness for the fan guys. Basically, on normal races, like we do, we don't search that much for weaknesses because Buster is kinda the ultimate weapon. It kinda helps a lot, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do to continue.
Yeah, those fan guys can be such a pain that it kind of makes sense that they ended up searching for the weakness for them, especially when they get placed near those pits, which really throws off your jumps.
And that's a very normal medal, man. Like, he's jumping a little bit high, I think. He's really normal. I don't think the guys will have problems, and MetaLow had no such issues, and StuffnThings ends it as well. You see, my best guess is that they won't attempt any more zips, or at least try anything funky, because now they know that their items aren't worth it. So they're gonna do it the old style, like the normal way. And looks like they get so much lag monsters and tin cans in this seat that it's not even normal. Like, the guys are really having trouble. And by the way, Galaxy Man.
Yeah, that's kind of a rough first room, but the runners are handling it pretty well.
And that's the worst thing that can happen. Like, I've experienced this so many times. Like, you choose a weapon that kills most of the stuff in the stage, and you start with this weapon, you see everything is dying, and a bird comes, and the egg doesn't want to die with this weapon. That's so annoying. You can't imagine how annoying this is. So, yeah, and they're gonna attempt that's a very classical zip. With the item 3 on heat, and continue with item 2 above the lava. So, yeah.
So yeah, runners making a pretty good short work of that Heatman stage that really could have given them a lot of trouble if things had gone just a little bit differently.
And this wood is giving Metal some trouble. It's not Buster weak. And he has no E-tanks. Oh, so he will have to take a death there. No other choice. Fortunately, StuffnThings has one E-tank left. I think, if I remember correctly, MetaLow didn't take the E-tank from Quickman stage, from the first stage. He took the E-tank from Flashman stage. That's why he was lacking one E-tank. And yeah, that's a general difference here. And they end up this at the same time. You see how much MetaLow got? And because he played really risky, and he does all the zips and all those risky strats, they're now tied up. So it's gonna be a really bumpy ride on the wily stages. And we like to play a little game that's called What's My Dragon? What's the color of my dragon? My guess is the blue eyes white dragon. What's your guess, Easy?
I like to always go with orange. I like an orange dragon.
I just have a speedrun goal. I want to collect 3 blue eyes white dragons in the terms of this tournament going. So yeah, if I see 3 blue eyes white dragons, I'll be a really happy person.
You complete your dual deck.
Exactly. All I miss is Exodia, but it's not in this castle, so it's in another game. And these fan guys, they're everywhere. They're giving the runners so much trouble. I can see the struggle. It's so big. Like, this is really unlucky, but the runners that they are really experienced. I really clap to these efforts. Like, they're doing their best.
Yeah, so far the runners are doing an amazing job. Both of them got to the Wily stages in under 24 minutes, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight time, considering all the hard stages they got, all the difficulties they were through, and the non-zippable items, everything they were through. That's a really tight time. And yeah, they're continuing to pull through. Even with the flash stuff, they use generally on this ladder. If you get enemies that hit you or do anything that hit you, you use flash to kind of stop their attacks. But even the flash weapon is not working correctly, so it's really tough for the runners. Actually, it's my bad. Flash weapon is working correctly. It's just not working good enough for them. Because everything is randomized. Flash duration is randomized as well, so yeah. It's really tough sometimes. And the great fish begins, the fish for vulnerabilities, and Stuff found Metal Blade.
Nice, that's one of the better weapons you can get versus to be the dragon vulnerability, because it's so much... Oh no, it looks like MetaLow took a death.
Oh well, that's very unfortunate. But these stuff happen, and speedrun setting. It's when you don't get the vulnerability fast enough. I don't know how to explain it myself, but if you don't get the vulnerability fast enough, you kind of get thrown off so much. Like, because in vanilla, you just get that quick boomerang up and mash that dragon up, or that buster and mash that dragon up. But when you have to search and you go out of position, and sometimes it's really bad. And Stuff is already half the way to the Pico fight. Seems that he has easy time in this Pico stage. Let's hope MetaLow gets some time back so we can see a photo finish.
Yeah, so far it's been just kind of a safer versus more risky race going on, and StuffnThings has been able to make up time just by playing a little bit safer.
Yeah, what StuffnThings is known, at least I know him for, is using strats that work for him and that are not risky that much. Seems that a risk reward, if you risk this and you're comfortable with this, it works. If you risk this but you're not comfortable with it, it doesn't work. So Stuff uses only strats that work for him. That's why he's playing such a stable Mega Man speedrun.
Speaking of, seems like he's done a pretty good job of finding both weaknesses to Pico.
And he mushes him down with the bubble barely. Though this bubble is actually better than the usual bubbles we get. Seems that I need to explain bubble as well. You can, in vanilla, you can spam 2 bubbles at the same time, and they are at, let's say, mid-range at the air. But here, bubbles can travel really high, really low. The count of them is randomized as well. But when you get a mashable bubble, you can get more than 2 bubbles in the air. It's really good, because if it's vulnerability for a boss, you get it down real quick. And he actually decides to get one more E-tank, just to be sure. Just to be sure. Never hurts to be sure.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Don't blame
by the
him.
way, Mega Man X.
Of course, StuffnThings doesn't know that he's ahead by 2 stages now because MetaLow took that second death to the dragon from what looked like the exact same way of falling in between the blocks. So grabbing that extra E-tank might just be the place, as he doesn't actually have to worry about time right now.
I don't believe that's Mandrill though. I think that's the elephant guy. I don't remember his name actually. But I think that was the guy with the elephant.
Flame Mammoth.
Yeah, it actually, yeah, Flying Mammoth. Use boomerang or whatever it is to break his belt.
Unfortunately, it looks like MetaLow's finally made it past the dragon. He's headed into Wily 2 now. Meanwhile, StuffnThings is in purple hell. It's actually purple.
Can you imagine being a Mega Man? Being a Mega Man in purple hell? When someone tells you to go there and shoot everything? I would have gave up so many times.
And MetaLow took another death. I'm not sure if that was calculated to refill his ammo or not, though.
He refuses to risk anything, which I really appreciate to see. A randomizer is a race when, if you figure out how not to die, that's it. That's it. You win. You win if you do that. So, StuffnThings is the hero here. Meanwhile, Meta is searching for weakness for walls. He actually needs E-tanks. So, he's gonna do that. Take the E-tank and go safe as well. And StuffnThings actually goes for the riskier strat because he has very good enemy placements and one of the spike, let's say, rooms. So he goes for it, jumps, takes the boost, and continues. That's really neat to see. He's gonna do a great bobbing fight, I'm sure. Meanwhile, MetaLow is gonna search for those pico weaknesses. So stay tuned for more. This can go wrong in a matter of seconds. So yeah. Oh man, the big fish for StuffnThings. Oh, and he finds Metal Blade just at the end, but it's no biggie. He already destroyed the important, let's say, the important walls. Like, there is an order of walls you need to destroy in order to hit every bobbin if you have metal. or leaf. Mostly us runners search for a weakness with leaf or metal because they can transition up and diagonally. And if you find one of those, that means you get an easy ball beam fight. Otherwise, you have to destroy everything and do a normal ball beam fight, which is kind of tedious. And Mega Man X3 on Refight StuffnThings. Here we go.
It looks like that Metal Blade's a little bit more aggressive than normal. I think Vanilla Metal Blade throws 3 and then he's throwing 4.
Yeah, and also they're kind of faster than normal.
Still no big problem for StuffnThings. He heads into his third.
Meanwhile, Bubble Man is actually a buddy throwing very fast bubbles. That means they're gonna get out of screen fast and not cause that much lag. So take into account that everything matters. Everything matters.
The MetaLow finding a third weakness for Pico Pico in the Crash Bomber.
He's really having it rough. Like, if you guys know the runners, it doesn't matter how big you are, how good you are at the game, it's randomizer. That means we're all human again. There are no gods among us. So everybody can fail, everybody can do a bad stage, everybody can do a mistake. So nothing is sure in randomizer. And that's a really cool strat by MetaLow. Like, that negates some of the lag in the stage that normally in Mega Man 2 water stages have, let's say, a lag because Mega Man walks slower and does everything slower. But using Flash there actually sometimes can help.
We've got a Wily machine that's not vulnerable to Buster.
It's okay, it's under control. He has an E-Tank and he found Bubble first stage of the Wily machine. And the second stage, oh, but he does a contact. Which means, do it all over again. And I don't think he has enough Bubble to do it. He's gonna have to fish again. So this gets interesting. He actually has enough. Wow. Okay. Okay. Oh, the only thing that's left for StuffnThings now is complete the final course. That is the alien. And can you guys guess his color?
I like to go turquoise for the alien.
I'm gonna go for a yellow, kind of orangey alien. There's some kind of orange in this. I can feel the orange. I don't know why.
We're both right.
Okay, we're both right.
And a Buster weak alien, too.
Actually, Noracaster's curse this time. Wow, and GG for StuffnThings. He completes with 421, but yeah, that's actually his official. His official time is 422 in speedruns. SRO. So GG to him. That was a very, very tough seed to complete. So really good props for a 14-minute randomizer seed from StuffnThings. Let's see how MetaLow fares with these bobbing fights though.
It's like you said, that's the nature of the randomizer. It looked like MetaLow was going to be ahead for a while, but some of those stages, that Dragon in particular, really turned it around, and StuffnThings came out with the win for the first race. I think they're going to be doing the second one immediately after this one, though, so as soon as MetaLow finishes.
Yeah, it's, you kind of expect from a speedrunner standpoint, MetaLow to have cleaner movement because he's a booster only player, but nothing is guaranteed. It's randomizer, so yeah. Seems that MetaLow is getting decent refights. If he doesn't die on refights, I guess he'll do a good, let's say good machine fight. Let's hope his machine fight is better though, because it's really rough when the machine is not buster weak or buster vulnerable, let's say.
Yeah, it's not exactly an easy fight, even with the Buster vulnerability. It's really hard to do it cleanly. So especially when you have to go and fish, it can end up being really tough.
Yeah, it's actually really tough. Having the fact that I haven't seen damageless machine fight with Buster in years, this can be really, really tough. Like damageless with weapons, it's really common, but with Buster, it's actually tricky.
Yeah, that's why I know a number of runners like to make sure they, no matter what happens, they have an E-tank just for fishing in the Wily machine, because you don't want to have to go back and do the refights over if you end up having the game over there, and then it gets really tough to use up all your weapon energy.
If you guys are wondering how to get into the randomizer, or how to get into speedrunning the randomizer, just plainly playing it casually, there are links that Charlie Boy just got us that will bring you to the bracket, to the schedule, and to the GitHub of Duckfist of the randomizer. You need your original ROM of the game, and that's basically everything that you need. And make sure you stand by, because there is going to be a second match. And if you're interested to see the brackets of the tournaments, who is going to play who, what is going to happen, now is the time to check it out.
Congrats to MetaLow getting past that Wily machine. He found 2 other vulnerabilities in Metal Blade and in Quick Boomerang that helped him out a bit there, so he didn't have to depend on that bubble to lit, which I think he was just about out of.
So he'll actually go and refill some of his stuff, not knowing this is gonna be a piece of cake, but it's better to be safe than be sorry, I guess.
We just have to hope that he actually goes ahead and tries the Buster and doesn't save it for last, assuming that's going to be a different weapon, like has happened to... Oh, no, it looks like he's good.
And GG to MetaLow. He finishes with official SRO time of 47:44. Well, GG's to him as well. It was a tough seed. I can understand all these mistakes and everything that happened in the race. It's really tough when you get out of your comfort zone because something isn't working for you. So give props to him as well. It's a really tough seed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to him on the second race. I think he's gonna make a huge comeback.
Yeah, so the race has been recorded. They're getting things set up now to get ready for match 2. So just stay tuned and we'll have our runners up and racing again momentarily.